Baby Keem, Casino, February 20th, 2026. Baby Keem, Baby Keem. I like Baby Keem. I thought The Melodic Blue was a good record. I didn't think it was a great record, but it was good and showed a lot of promise. His earlier projects range from mid to decent. Orange Soda's a good track, and I believe there's a few other highlights too, but nothing that's really stuck with me. It has been 5 years, which leads us to Casino, and No Security opens you up with an introspective, drumless track that sets the tone for the lyrical foci of the record. His family, his trauma, his come-up, his success, and women. I really enjoy the homey feel of this track, and it does definitely work as an opener. Casino follows up with a banging rage-inspired beat with some hard-hitting lyrics that touch on the aforementioned topics, but with sort of a distinct imagery that many of his tracks lack for me. This is honestly one of his better tracks. And is definitely my favorite on the record. And to reference Family Ties, this song sort of follows that formula with the beat switch through to a hard-hitting second half of a triumphant beat. It's great, although a little too similar. Unfortunately, this is where the album hits a wall. The Birds and the Bees is a rough love track that comes off as a bit gross with the lyrics and delivery, which unfortunately continues through to Good Flirts, which features Kendrick Lamar and Momo Boyd. Keem still can't seem to lead a great track centered around intimacy, but at least Momo Boyd's contribution was smooth. Kendrick's verse had some warm highlights to it, but ultimately doesn't move any sort of needle. I don't really want to hear Kendrick Lamar rapping about the friend zone. We're not 16. House Mercy's a bit better, but it's ultimately forgettable as the album picks up a little bit more with I Am Not a Lyricist. This track is great. I love the lush instrumentation, although Keem sounds a bit too similar to Andre 3000. Again, I hate to pull the Kendrick parallel, but it is reminiscent of Sing About Me and Dying of Thirst as well. If I had to pick something I love though, that bridge before verse 3 is wonderful. Sex Appeal. This follows up with a great summary jam, assisted by Too Short. This is the first time I've enjoyed a Keem song about intimacy in a while. Highway 95 Part 2 follows it up with a bang. This is a great introspective track that really dials into his upbringing and shows an immense sense of self-awareness as he details pain. Hitting the home stretch of this record, Circus Circus Freestyle has much of a freestyle 4x Kanye vibe with a semi-menacing opening that switches into a banger. This is fun for a bit, but by the end of the track I'm left feeling empty because the formula starts wearing a bit thin. That said, Dramatic Girl is a nice switch up that reminds me a little of Die Trying off that horrible Drake and P&D album. At least Die Trying was a highlight on that though. And to wrap the album up, No Blame on Paper is great. The James Blake sample from his classic self-titled record, great introspective lyrics, good flow, but there's something missing in the production. It's either missing a layer, there's something with the mixing that's off. It sounds cavernous where it necessarily shouldn't sound cavernous to me, and it just misses the mark a little bit. And with all that said, the album did flow well on first listen. I thought it was an easy listen. It's only 37 minutes, pretty short. Unfortunately, with further revisitations, it started to wane on me a bit. This is just not a great album to listen to straight through. I think it has its highlights, and while I'm happy he put it out, it's unfortunate that this is my main takeaway. So 5 years have passed and there's been little to no progression. In fact, I would say this is a regression if anything. I don't think that this is nearly as eclectic and forward-thinking as The Melodic Blue was, and while I definitely get some enjoyment out of this, again, it's not a horrible record, I only see myself potentially returning to the title track. The introspective lyrics are definitely nice, the production is generally good, albeit repetitive, but Keem utterly failed to deliver on Birds and the Bees and Good Flirts, and right as the album was heating up, those just killed it. And while the back half is better, it never really finds its footing again. I'm still looking forward to the next project, but I really did expect more out of this. It's a 5.2 for me. Thank you all for watching, have a great rest of your day. Bye.